everyone, in this video I will show you how to do rendering in Navisworks. So I have opened an example project like this one, and what we'll do is we'll go ahead and go to external tools, export this project. So before we export this, I would show you that we have created these renderings. So just like this sample project, you may have already rendered some of these images in your project. So we'll be using these renderings, or we'll be using these kind of still images in Navisworks to render them. Okay, so you know how to export it, and I already exported it, so I will not do this. And let's open that exported file in Navisworks. So let me open that. So the project has opened now, and as you can see here, that's our model. So you can actually have an angle or have a perspective. You can zoom in, zoom out, and then you can render that if you want to. But if you want to render your pre-arranged or pre-defined renderings, you have to go to Viewpoint and click on the Save Viewpoint window, and this will open this window here. So you can save these views. But if you want to see those renderings that we had in Revit, you have to expand this 3D view right here. And here these were these renderings that you had created in Revit. So if I click on kitchen, that's the rendering that I had created in the Revit model. That's front yard, that's the living room, approach, sectional perspective, solar analysis, or whatever view that you may have will be showing up here. So let's say you want to render this one. So as I said earlier, rendering, just as my opinion, that rendering in the Navisworks works much better than Revit. This rendering is absolutely beautiful if you do it in Navisworks. To render, you have to go to render, and there are some options here. So, go to ray trace and don't click on this kettle right here. I wanted to go to drop down and go to custom settings. And then there are some settings here that you can do to this project. So for instance, you can go into materials, and these are the materials that are there, and you can open that what Autodesk library material have brought what materials here, and you can change them if you want to. Okay, so you can go to lighting, you can see what lights are already there here. If you want to add more lights, you can click on create light. So you can create a point. So it will let you put this point anywhere you want. So it's a point light. So if I'm putting it here like this, and then it will show you that it's focusing there. And if you don't want to see this gizmo, click on this button right here, and that will go off, but you see the light here. Let's put a spotlight, and let's put it somewhere on this column, and you can decide where do you want it to focus. So see, if once I click that, it positions the spotlight, and then I can change the direction where exactly I want to focus. So if I want to focus straight downward or upward, in whatever way I want, so let's focus downward, and it is placing that spotlight. So you see that reflection is coming like this. You can also include, let's say, web light. So let's place it somewhere. Okay, my computer is slow. It's not as good as my office computer, so it's gonna take some time. So if I'm gonna put that web light somewhere here, and I'm choosing randomly, so you can plan it if you want to. So just click on it, it will go to the surface, and then you see this line. I can choose how it will focus. So I can put it, let's see, here, So it has placed that spotlight or that globe light or whatever it was. I think it was web light, sorry. So you can see those lights that you already have here. So you can click on those lights, and you can change their filter color, lamp intensities in candela, I think, lamp color and all that. Plus you can also add lights. Environment you can choose as what is the sun. So if you want to switch on sun, you can switch on that, and you can see that it has switched on those, and it's going to take some time to generate that. So if it is a daytime rendering, you can switch on sun here. You can also choose other factors like geographic location, the time, the date. If you go to, so what happens is, depending on your latitude and longitude, the position of sun and sun rays will change. It will also depend on the date. So if you are looking at a particular specific date, you can choose the date, and you can set a location over here, by putting latitude and longitude over here. So, you can choose that, but I'm not gonna do that just to save time. So once all these things have been chosen, you can also set exposure values, and you can go through all this. So sky, for instance, render sky illumination. If you don't want that, you can uncheck that, and you can see that it has cancelled it. But if you want, you will have it. Intensity factor, night color, what type of color you want at the night. Usually it's black. So all these factors you can choose. So these environmental factors will impact the image that you will be rendering. Under settings, setting is render to level. There is lighting calculation done. So when you put a web light like this, how do you want it to render its effect, its lighting effect? So simplistic is going to use a simple ray tracing. If it is advanced, it will be most realistic, but it's going to take a lot of time. So once everything is done, everything looks good, all you have to do is collapse this. All you have to do is click on ray trace. So you can do rendering in multiple ways. One is Autodesk rendering. You can render in cloud. So you can click on here, and what it's going to do is going to connect to web, and you have to sign in with your credentials to Autodesk website account, student account, and you can actually render it over there. But again, it depends on how good is your connectivity. So you can do that if you want to render in cloud. But if you want to render here, use this ray trace, and before you start rendering, select a quality. And I had to warn you, because Navisworks does a pretty good job of rendering. A medium quality or a high quality is going to take a lot of time and a lot of computing power. So make sure that you choose it rightly. I'm going to just try to do it low quality and see how it works. So this is the picture. Let me go back and actually make it switch off the sun. I just don't want that. Okay, let's render it in low quality. So when I click on this kettle here, it will start rendering, and you can see that it's processing, it's pre-processing, and it's going to render it, and it's going to take some time. So you see that it says over here interactive ray trace is running. You can pause it, you can stop it if you want to, but probably it's going to take some time. So I'm going to stop here, and if I see the image, I will show you. So this is how you basically render. You export those images, you find them, and you create those settings, or you do those settings, and you render them. Thanks for watching.